What do you think of dating in today's society?
I think dating today has become sort of a taboo subject of sorts, because people nowadays think of dating as being in a relationship instead of thinking of dating as some kind of casual way to get to know someone, which that was what it was like in the past. Because before social media became such a big thing, people would go on dates so they could get to know each other, but now we can get to know each other through text or through Facebook or whatever you use. So I just think it's become a bigger thing than it used to be. It's not as casual, it's more intimate, and it's expected to be a bigger thing than it actually is.
What do I think of it?
Yes.
I guess it's difficult. I don't know. I guess it's because of the fact that we were never really told what to do. Because now we're going so much to the internet and we're going so much through where it used to be word of mouth. Now it's just who are you friends with? Who do you link up with? Anywhere, anytime, but it's all digitally. So if you're not really up to date on the 21st century standard of what the internet is, then you can't catch up.
All right, well, I think that dating is completely different than it used to be because of technology, and so many relationships I feel like are skewed because it's easier to say things like kind of behind the blanket of technology. And I don't know, I kind of wish that I was dating in my mother's context, because my mother would go out with 4 guys at a time, and she would kind of date all of them, and then she would eventually get to choose which one she wanted to keep dating or which one she wanted to drop. But now I feel like there's this expectation to be monogamous,
Yeah.
which I don't necessarily agree with. It's for some people, it's not for some people.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think dating is very diverse in today's society. I think there are specific different groups of people that go about dating in different ways. But I think it's definitely geared more virtually now. More dates are set up over the internet, over apps like Tinder and Grindr. And it's less about who you meet in person and more about you actually seeking out a date or a hookup rather than before when that wasn't available.
I think dating has become a very lax term for things. I remember way back in the day, it was called hanging out with somebody, where that's predominantly the person you're with, but you're not actually with them. I feel like there's a lot of blurry lines these days when it comes to that. I can't say anything because I've experienced that. Technically, my 2-year relationship has been official for 5 months, whatever that means.
Casually, I think. I think casual would probably be the best way to describe it now.
How so?
Well, in my experience, it's never been a real big thing. It's been mostly over digital devices, and it's typically something that's do you want to meet up somewhere, or do you want to just kind of hang out? There's that whole Netflix and chill thing that's going on right now, and I don't think of that as a date per se. I think hookup culture has definitely influenced dating in the mainstream sense of the term to kind of include more casual relationships.
I think dating has changed a lot, honestly.
How so?
My mom, she used to tell me about her mom teaching her to date was picking out a couple of guys she thought were cute and liked and went out with them to the movies or to dinner. And it wasn't anything committed. It was just going out and getting to know someone. And I feel like dating now is turning into this thing where if you go out with somebody, you're automatically in a relationship with them and committed to only them. And I think that's where a lot of problems stem, honestly. I think dating has changed from getting to know somebody to being with somebody, and I don't think it's the same thing as what our society has turned it into.
Well, I don't know. My viewpoint on it is that, I really wish that there wasn't so much technology involved in it. That's kind of my viewpoint of it now, mainly because like, you know, with phones and stuff, you can't get away from your significant others. Whereas, you know, you think about like back in the 50s and stuff, before they had these phones, you know, a guy would go off to work, he wouldn't talk to his wife. He wouldn't talk to his kids. He'd come back and then they would catch up about what they did about the day. And, you know, I feel like a lot of that is missing because so much of society is posted where everyone can view. I mean, so much of what you do, you know, you get on Facebook, you can see what him or her are doing. You can, I mean, they'll text you or they'll Snapchat you or whatever. And it just seems like you're so connected that you kind of get that burned out feeling at some point.
Mm-hmm.
With relationships, and at least that's what I feel like I see, because you see a lot more short-term relationships now. You see people that date for like a year or two and then they kind of get that burned out feeling.
I think it's becoming too social media active and stuff like that. Texting, meeting people on Facebook, Grindr, OkCupid, all these dating sites. And you're missing a lot from just meeting people personally.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets really weird because you're not actually meeting the person.
Yeah.
You're having them type out how they feel, and they can write anything you want to. And then you also have the opportunity to look their shit up and stuff like that, and like, you know, stalk them
Mm-hmm.
and found out other information. So then it's kind of like, oh, you're texting another girl, I see you like someone else's page. You like, you know. So I kind of think that it's becoming less personal and more complicated and stuff.
So why do you think we're relying on stuff like that?
I mean, I think people are, it's just easier for people and stuff. It's like a shortcut. And I think it's just becoming like, you know, too unhealthy, like sugar. Like you just can't stop. And you just, you lose how to talk to people and see people. So it's pretty damaging in a sense.